it's been raining now for basically a day, on and off, and I did decide on getting the Falken Wildpeak At4 HGs in LT 285/65 R20 on my stock wheels, and they look phenomenal. I have put maybe 30 miles on them, and I've already had to test them out. I decided to go in the field to do some quick blind upkeep and check on a couple things, and considering how much it's been raining, it's a little snoosy. So people usually buy all-terrains for when the unknown may spring up. They know that they don't need to have mud tires because they're not out looking for trouble. But generally people who buy all-terrains are trying to prepare themselves to have a little bit extra just in case they need to have it. And as a bonus, having a 3-peak rated tire, you know the tire's been through the testing and designed to perform well in snow, ice, on-road, and off-road conditions. Being that I did already get to test out these tires in the mud, I can offer a little bit of input on that. My background in mud is I've been to mud bogs, I've mud bogged my truck, I've done a lot of off-roading that requires going through mud. I definitely know a thing or two about how to make a truck get through the mud on many different types of tires, different size tires, different modifications, lockers, not locked, all that kind of stuff. I guarantee you, in the snoosy stuff that I just got myself in, if I would have been on stock tires, I would have gotten stuck. Guaranteed. And the reason is the top layer is so snoosy and so slippery that it would have impacted up the tread, and I would have been running on racing slicks, and no matter how much RPM you give a street tire, even as good as those Bridgestones are, they're going to glomp up, they're not going to clean, you're going to be in big trouble. I am so impressed with these tires. Now granted, if I wasn't alone and didn't have, someday maybe I'll have a camera crew, that'd be cool. It would have been cool to see the outside of it. Because these tires dug, they cleaned without excessive RPM, they just kept on trucking, they had good, pretty good turning. When you're in 4-wheel drive with the locker lock, it's not going to turn that great in sloppy mud. And this is my fresh, just plowed, just planted into rye cover crop for the wintertime field. So by fresh tilled, I mean it had the opportunity to cause me to make major oopsies. Probably shouldn't have done it in the rain, but I wasn't going to go hunting tonight. It's been blowing, it's been raining, it just isn't. My better half just got a nice 8-point last night, and we tracked that in the rain. That was great. It really was fine. Perfect shot and easy to track, except for you could literally see the blood washing away, which you hunters know exactly what I'm talking about. It's obviously a very scary thing to deal with because you don't want to come up short on finding a deer, and we found the deer, no problem. So, did a little bit of upkeep, and I got to test out the tires for exactly what they're for. They appear to still be getting great fuel economy. Now they are definitely heavier than the stock tires. I'll put some pictures in here. I got to play with the new carcass and feel how thick the sidewall is. It is a 2-ply sidewall, but it is extremely thick. It is a 10-ply tire, of course, load range E. It has like 3,800 and either 30 or 40 pounds of carrying capacity, which is more than the stock tires. I currently have the fronts at 50 and the rears at 55 because that's what I was running before. And obviously it's overpressurized for being empty, but I hooked trailers at random times, so I tend to keep them airing on the side of extra air in the back. So I have nothing but positive things to say from so far. In 30 miles, I can definitely say they're not super loud. You can hear them a little bit, and I like a little bit of a hum because it kind of lets you know that everything is still working. And if something happens with the tire, you start losing air pressure or something, you can hear them humming away. And then if something changes, you get a little bit of wop, wop, wop going on, you know something's wrong. So they are just a little bit more aggressive than those KO3s, and that's a lot of the reason that I chose to go with them. Also, you'll see in the pictures that they are noticeably wider and slightly taller. They appear to be more true to their size, and they fill out the wheel wells extremely nicely, which is exactly what I wanted to do. There is no rubbing on this with stock offset, no spacer rear, no level, no lift, all stock. It's like a 34.5 by about 11.2. It is a really good size tire. A 285 section width is a perfectly usable. I don't have huge hands, but I have hands nonetheless. And it's basically thumb to ring finger, fully spread open, maybe a little bit more. It says it's 11.2 wide. I didn't take tape measure to it. I trust them. They look pretty good. On-road manners are great. Seem to corner well. Brakes fine. You know, works great. And the rain's been pouring, and it's like it's not even raining. When you have a good set of tires, and Duratracks are just like this too. They are phenomenal in the rain. And these At4s, I think I'm going to absolutely love them. They are branded as HD, which is kind of cool. It said it on the sticker. I believe it says it on the sidewall. That's pretty cool. The sidewall lugs look awesome. There's like this extra siping too on the side of the lugs, which is pretty cool. I don't know if that's more for looks. You know, I guess if you're in deep snow, maybe it would help a little bit. But yeah, it's definitely got kind of, you can see the mold line right here, and I kind of like the look of that. It's just the way the tire's molded. It doesn't really matter at all, but it looks good, and I imagine that it would protect the sidewall pretty nicely. The letters are hugely raised. There's no problem seeing what kind of tire you have, and I think they look phenomenal on these wheels. What do you guys think? They have like the perfect amount of poke. Just shows the sidewall sticking out of there. And what's nice about that is they look good without totally showering the side of your truck with mud. And yes, my truck came with mud flaps. I'm getting old, evidently. I would have never imagined that I'd stick on stock wheels in 20s. I was a 17 only kind of guy for the longest time, to which I still like my 17s, but very impressed so far. I haven't seen a whole lot of real world owner reviews of these tires yet, especially on a heavy duty truck. I imagine that they're going to do just fine. And the way all terrains, like I've stated earlier, they're there for you when you need them, and they're not a huge detraction when you don't need them. You're not losing a ton of fuel economy. They don't weigh an excessive amount. They're not extremely loud like a mud tire is. I don't mind the noise. A lot of people do. I kind of like the hum, mostly because I'm used to it. And these have a 60,000 mile tread life when they're the LT, so the HD for an LT and light truck tire. But the rest of them have a 65,000 mile tread life warranty. We'll see how that goes. I kind of think if you get 60, even 50,000 miles out of a set of tires on a heavy-duty truck, you're doing pretty good. But we'll see how that goes. Hopefully they hold up well, and they look great. I definitely love how much extra space I have in here. I know that I was looking at the KO3, and I even mentioned that I liked how the KO3 was less aggressive. But I'm thinking for the amount of money that they are, get something that's going to be a happy medium. What I'm hoping to do is get another set of these really beautiful looking 20s. I just love these wheels, and put my stock tires back on them for next year. So that way I have two sets of tires, winter set and summer set. And that way I'm not going to put crazy miles on these when I don't really need that. This time of year though, it's snoosey, it's going to be raining. We'll probably get a wintry mix at some point. It's, you know, middle of October here. So wintry mixes are coming, and that's hopefully what the Star is going to excel at. So yes, that is the frontal fitment. Here's the rear fitment. They have an awesome look, and they really look great on those wheels. I absolutely love them. I love these big outer tread blocks. They look really good, and clearly they clean very, very well. They have these the blocks are staggered a little bit here and there, and that obviously must help a little bit. So yeah, very nice tire. Super impressed. Glad that I got them, because I would have probably gotten myself in trouble today. I have reached out to my Ford dealer to find out about putting the Ford winch into my truck, and they're saying that Ford requires you to have the second battery in order to have the winch. They're going to price out what it takes to put the second battery option into my truck, as well as the winch. And what I'm tempted to do is tell them I don't want the second battery. So my Power Wagon only had one battery, and you definitely do it when you're winching. You could hear it. Occasionally you'd have to give it a little bit of throttle to help the alternator to keep up, and that's all true. But the thing is that I don't plan on sinking my truck. It's more there for an odd chance of an emergency where I'm not going to be going and doing the Rubicon Trail with this truck. It'll be something like, oh, I got stuck, hooked to a tree, got myself out, no problem. It won't be a long-term winch to here, winch to there, winch up this, where you definitely need to have more power. So I will look into that too, and that should definitely help the truck out in terms of having a little bit more self-recovery options, because self-recovery is very, very important. But what do you guys think of these tires? frontal view. Any questions, shoot them down below, and I'll obviously be keeping track of how they perform and how they wear, but this is kind of a first impression. 30 miles, basically, 35 miles or so. Big fan, definitely recommend them so far. They look good, they perform well. I imagine they're great in the rain because of the AT3s or in the rain and the snow, because the AT3s did amazing, and it sounds like they improved to the best of their abilities, and they certainly have given us a little bit more tread going on and a lot of tread height, and it appears to be well-built tire. I was talking to the tire tech guy at Bell Tire, and he said that it took about 2 ounces for each of them, so that's pretty good. Not as good as like usually Nittos are. Nittos are capable of, you know, sub-ounce or ounce. They're extremely well made. But at 2, still pretty good. He made a crack still better than BFG. He must have known that I was debating on between BFG and this one. Still a BFG fan, would like to put that tire onto something, but I think that this setup is going to work amazing for what I'm using my truck for, giving it just a little bit more traction when I need to have it, and without being a huge fuel sucker or noise machine going down the road when I don't need to have them. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. Remember to like and subscribe. If you would like to do so, please leave a comment. My email and Patreon is in the description. If you would like to contact me in many other ways, the community tab on my YouTube channel page is also somewhere where you can leave a message. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.